Alright, what's up guys, Toasty here, Get Burnt. Today I'm going to be talking more about Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and this is going to be somewhat of a late kind of video, but I'm going to be talking about the actual character customization, classes, and the attributes, and how everything's affected when you're a different gender or a different race. I'm going to be talking about that, but the main thing I'm going to be talking about is at the end of the video, kinda, where I'm going to be talking about what happens when you affect your entire character as a whole, like your height and how big you are and all that stuff. So we're going to be talking about that later, but first I'm going to just break down all of the actual races for you, and what their genders and how they actually are different from other races. So yeah, this is all translated from Shonen Games. This was something that was released on the Dragon Ball Xenoverse website like 2 weeks ago, and a lot of people did cover this already, but I'm just gonna be talking about this and tell you guys what I think about it. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I'm gonna be doing. So first, let's start off with the Earthlings. So they're balanced when it comes to offensive and defensive abilities, so pretty much they're kind of the middle ground for all of the other races. They really don't have anything that is increased around them, but they are pretty much normal in pretty much every single category. And during their actual fighting, their ki power is always pushed up. It's always at its maximum, or not always at its maximum, but their attack power is increased while their ki power is at maximum. And I believe that they do have more ki, although it doesn't say it here. I believe that we do know that they do have more ki, or they're able to replenish ki a lot quicker than everybody else, and their skill power is gradually replenished. So that's pretty much it for the humans. They're balanced, and they don't have really much that's extremely special about them. Next, we have the Saiyans, who are actually a little bit more different. They don't have a lot of health. They actually have more attack power than health, and when they're downed and then when they're brought back, like, you know how you can bring somebody back from getting knocked out, like how you can in Battle of Z, you actually get more attack power when you are like brought back. So that's kind of something that could be used to experiment on. Maybe you want to bait them into killing one of your Saiyan friends or something, so that you can bring them back or something like that. Obviously that kind of doesn't really sound like it would really be that helpful, because you're going to be losing and then coming back anyway. I don't know if this stacks, if this happens every time you die, because you can die, I believe, more than one time in a fight and then still be brought back. So if someone, let's say, dies and then they get revived, they have the increased attack power. I'm wondering if after that happens again, will they actually gain that same attack power again? Will they actually get it stacked on it, or will they actually just keep that increased attack power that they had before? That's just something that I wonder, but you know, it's just something to think about. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Saiyans. They have pretty much low health, or stamina, I guess, low health and stamina, but they do have really high attack power, and then when they are brought down, or they're beaten down and they're brought back, they do have higher attack power. So that's really cool. It's kind of true to the show, because, you know, in the show, Saiyans, the main thing about them is that when they lose in a fight, almost die, and then they are not revived, but when they heal after a fight that they almost die in, then they become a lot stronger. That's why Vegeta became a lot stronger before he went to Namek after nearly dying on Earth, and then when he was actually on Namek in the Namek saga, he did gain a lot of attack boost, because he was almost killed on Namek quite a bit. So that's just something to think about. And for the Majin race actually have a lot of defense, which is something that I don't know, I could have kind of expected that for the Fat Boo or something, and call it being somewhat insensitive or something. But yeah, and they also recover ki pretty slowly, which is something that, you know, I guess that the Majins themselves don't really use a lot of attacks, like super special attacks, very, very often. Obviously they do use them. Fat Boo used it a lot more than anybody else that I saw. Like, really, he used Kamehameha, he used the actual flame shower breath, he used quite a bit, and he also did the explosion, the angry explosion. But Kid Buu, if you notice, Kid Buu, when he was fighting, even though you can't use a Kid Buu form in this game, the Kid Buu was actually very focused on attacking. He didn't use a lot of abilities. The only one that I really remember him doing was the Planet Burst, and that's the only one that really sticks out to me. I don't really remember him doing a Kamehameha, even though he probably did one in the show. I probably just don't remember it because I don't have that great of a memory. But yeah, so pretty much, for those of you who weren't able to grasp that, they pretty much are based on completely endurance, or not endurance. They actually are very defensive, but they recover ki very, very slowly. But when their ki is at maximum power, then their defense actually rises. So there's actually a huge difference between the genders themselves. So yeah, that's interesting. For the males and females, I believe that the males have higher attack power and lower speed, and the females have higher speed but lower attack power. But that could mean, I don't know if that means it for every single race that has a male and female, aka humans, Saiyans, and Majins. But if that is what it means for every single race, then that's just pretty much the same thing. If it's different, then it would say it here, and it really doesn't. So attack power is low for Namekians, but the stamina is actually recovered faster, and the race is excellent for defense. So pretty much their attack power is low, but their stamina and their defense is really good. Kind of like Majins in a way, but it's actually different because their stamina is actually not incredibly high. Well, their stamina doesn't recover quickly, and for them, their ki power increases their defense, when here, with the Namekians, when their stamina recovers gradually, physical strength is reduced. So that's actually something that's kind of weird. It's like, and it's 70% of their physical strength. That's a lot of physical strength that's being sacrificed. And the effects of recovery items that are higher than the other races for Namekians, which I guess that could make sense. I really don't see how that connects to the show incredibly, but that just could be because I haven't watched the show in a very long time, or haven't rewatched the show in a long time. But yeah, so just the thing with the Namekians is that their physical strength is very, very low, although they do have really, really good stamina and defense. So they might be a good character for mainly supporting, which I guess that you could say that's what they do, supporting mainly other than anything else. I guess they won't be like a tank like the other races. And for the last one, the Frieza's race, and that is pretty much, it seems like what they're going to call it, Frieza's race, which kind of makes me a little bit sad because I kind of wanted to see a name for them so I can call them something besides Frieza Race, because it's really annoying calling them Frieza Race. A lot of people say call them Ice Jins. That's a fan-made name. That's not an actual name for the Frieza's Race. Some people say call them Arcosians, which Arcosians is not the it's not the confirmed name for them. It's just what people think they are. It's a hassle. Like, Dims, come on. Like, you couldn't just give them a name? Like, please. Okay, but yeah, I'm getting off topic. Anyways, their race actually specializes in speed and quick movement, but their attack power is slightly lower. They can actually emit a special ki bullet that can be launched from their body and can increase their speed or decrease their, decrease their attack. So, pretty much, strong normal ki has a numbing damage effect, which pretty much means ki blast and stuff has somewhat of a numbing effect that it doesn't have for the other races. For the Frieza race, and their speed, when it's increased, their physical power is actually reduced, or their physical strength is reduced by like less than 50%. So honestly, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as the Namekians' physical strength when they have stamina recovering gradually and stuff. But it is still a decrease in actual physical defenses, although it really doesn't seem to say anything about their special attacks. It does say about their ki bullets, which I would assume is just their ki attacks, like their ki blasts, but I don't know about their actual special attacks. It could be that their special attacks is also really good, but they are pretty good for actually coming into the fight really quickly, it seems, and getting a lot of damage in while everybody else is doing their thing. Because, you know, Frieza's race, it seems like it's the most fast race of the entirety of all the races in Xenoverse, so they're probably going to be very good when it comes to actual speed. So that's going to be really cool to see. I can't wait to see more stuff about that. And yeah, that's all the races for Dragon Ball Xenoverse and all the things that make them pretty much different from each other. So pretty much, let's go over the rundown again. The Earthlings are just normal. There really isn't a lot that's really special about them. Their skill power is gradually replenished, and their attack power is increased when their ki is at maximum. And for the Saiyans, they actually lose, well, they don't have as high attack power, but, well, they do have higher attack power. I made a mistake. They have a high attack power, but they do not have high health. And when they die and get revived again, they have higher attack power. For Majins, they seem to actually have their damage reduced when ki power is at maximum, so that's something for them. Then for Namekians, their stamina recovers, but their physical strength is also reduced at that time. So that's the thing for Namekians, as well as the effects of items working much better for Namekians. And then for Frieza's race, we have pretty much the speed character of the game that pretty much is, I guess you could say, interference, because that's what it says here. Interference, and I guess that it's just like for whenever you're trying to interfere into a battle, you could actually do stuff really quickly. And obviously the physical strength is not as nerfed down as the Namekians, so it should work pretty well for them in terms of how much damage they do. And then we have the last part of this video, which is going to be talking about the actual change of height, physique, and all that other stuff. So while increasing the height, physical strength, is increased. So pretty much when you have a taller character, your physical strength is actually increased. Meaning that, let's say you were using a Namekian and you use the tallest version of a Namekian, your actual stuff, your physical strength being decreased, actually will not be that bad, or not as bad, when you have a taller Namekian, which is pretty interesting. And your movement speed when you're taller is also reduced, which makes a lot more sense. So the thing is that when you create a Freezer's Race character, you're going to be able to make it, if you make it tall, which you can make them tall, you can make him tall like the cooler kind of character that we saw in the live stream, as well as the character that we saw in the actual trailer for Xenoverse, the You Are Reclaimer trailer. We saw that there was a really tall Freezer's Race character. So the thing is that even though your movement speed is reduced, you could actually make a Frieza character that is actually tall that will have normal pretty much speed, because their speed is actually normally increased from the get. So since you make a taller character, you will have a higher attack power than usual for the Freezer race, as well as pretty much normal speed. But then again, at that point, you won't have a very huge advantage over others. You'll just have a good amount of attack power as well as a good amount of speed. So it's something to wonder about if you're going to make a tall or short one. And when you actually are small, obviously, the movement speed is increased and the physical strength is decreased. So pretty much if you want to have an all-speed character, you make a short Freezer's Race character, or you make a, a tall Saiyan character will be able to do a lot of damage, like a lot of damage, but they will be they'll be slow and they will have low attack. So that's something to wonder about if you will prioritize speed over attack or anything like that. Also, the more slender your character is, the stronger key-related attacks become. So, pretty much if you make a sort of a bulky kind of human, your key attacks will be like somewhat stronger, and then when you're when you're slender, when you're pretty much a skinny one, your key attacks will become a lot more powerful. But then when you're bigger, your key attacks will actually, well, I guess they won't change, but the physical related attacks will become much stronger, which is something that makes a lot of sense. So let's say I made a human that looks like Oob, like the Oob kind of character that we saw in a lot of the stuff when the character creation was actually announced, the big bulky character. If I made him and he was a human, actually he wasn't a human, he was a Saiyan. So, but let's say he was a human. So if he was a human, and the humans, as we know, are all normal pretty much in terms of their stats. So if I made him big, then that means, and I made him big and tall because he was big and tall, that means that my actual movement speed will be decreased, but my physical strength will actually be a lot higher. Then, if he's big, which he is, if he's bulky, then your physical related attacks, aka I guess your special attacks, like your normal physical attacks that you have, and like for different characters, maybe like Lord Slugs or something like that. I don't even know what kind of physical attacks they would bring, maybe Meteor Smash, they will become stronger. So pretty much you can have a fully physical character that is completely bulked out, which is something that is very interesting because there is a lot of different dynamics for what you would like to make with your character. Make them skinny, make them tall, make them fat, make them slender. It changes your character a lot in terms of how you do it. And it's also going to be cool for experimenting, because if you want to find what you really like in terms of a character, then you're going to have to like make a few characters and see which one you like more in terms of their playstyle and in terms of how strong or how weak or how fast they are. So, that's something that I really like about this character creation. It seems like with all of the stuff that you put in your character in terms of height and in terms of how big you are, it seems like it's really going to change how your character plays and how they actually are in terms of stats. So that's really nice. I can't wait to see more stuff about this. This, in my opinion, is really cool, and I'm really happy that they are going towards this instead of just having everyone be kind of like the normal same like sort of thing, like if everybody was the same sort of attack power, health, and all that stuff. Because the reason that we have different races is because we want a different experience from each race, and that's what they're seeming to give us here, instead of just the same old like, oh yeah, everyone's pretty much the same, just with a different race skin. And I don't like that. I wouldn't like that. I would like for this sort of system where everything is different based on your character and how different your character actually is. So I really want to know what you guys think about this. Do you guys like this system in Xenoverse? Do you think that having a different sort of thing for all of your characters, no matter how different they are, pretty much having height and all that stuff? And remember, there is more than just a tall and short option. There are actually multiple options for how tall you are, so you can even experiment with that sort of stuff, maybe try and get a balance there. So that's something to actually think about. Honestly, I think this is great, and I can't wait to see more stuff about this when the game actually comes out in a month. If you are still riding the Xenoverse hype train, make sure to leave a like on this video as well. If you're trying to support my channel, then make sure to leave a like on this video, as well as share it with a friend. because, you know, this, if they like Dragon Ball Z, then probably going to start liking these videos because, you know, Xenoverse seems like it's going to be a really good game. So that's all I got to say for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. And, yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all later. Peace out.